Real life stories narrated from the experiences of R2K. The unseen threat. I sat in the kitchen, waiting for the guru, my eyes drifting toward the gate. The sun had barely settled into the sky when, around 10 a.m., I saw him approach. I was surprised he had arrived early, far earlier than expected. But relief quickly followed. As I stood to greet him, I hesitated. He opened the gate and just stood still, just beyond the gate, gazing at our house with an intensity that unnerved me. His eyes roamed slowly from the rooftop to the orchard and back to the house. It was as though he could see something the rest of us couldn't. My stomach churned with unease. Was he seeing something dark? Something dangerous? Not wanting to keep him waiting, especially since my uncle and his family shared the compound, I left the kitchen and made my way outside. But just as I stepped through the door, I noticed something strange. My uncle was already there, speaking to the guru. I hung back, just a few meters away, close enough to watch but far enough to miss their words. The guru saw me first, offering a gentle smile and a wave. My uncle, however, turned toward me with a scowl that made my skin crawl. Something was off, but I wasn't sure what. I approached the guru, inviting him inside. As he walked past me, I caught a glimpse of my uncle's face, twisted into something cold, almost sinister. A chill ran through me. I asked the guru if my uncle had said anything unusual, but he just smiled and replied that he had mistaken him for my father. I apologized, explaining that I should have mentioned we lived with another family, one we no longer spoke to. Inside, I introduced the guru to my parents. My sister was out, but it seemed the timing was right. My mother offered him a seat, and as she left to fetch some refreshments, the guru wasted no time. Apologizing for the abrupt visit, he explained that he was leaving tomorrow, but something about our house compelled him to stay, to help. My father, ever the practical man, asked if the problem lay with me. The guru shook his head, his smile thin and grim. "It's not just him," he said softly. "There's a darkness attached to this house. It clings to everyone here." His words sent a jolt through me. The silence in the room was thick, almost oppressive. "I saw it the moment I arrived," the guru continued. "When I first saw your son, your home, and your orchard. This isn't just any negative energy. It's something far more dangerous. It's either bound to this house, or someone has targeted your family." My father's face hardened. He wasn't one to believe in such things easily. "How can you be sure?" "Just by looking," he asked. The guru leaned forward, explaining how he had asked for my shirt earlier to test the presence of the energy. My father's expression darkened as he turned toward me. His voice trembled with restrained anger. "Why didn't you tell me?" I could barely form a response, mumbling something about not being sure, about thinking it wasn't important. But the damage was done. My father's rage was simmering beneath the surface, though he kept his temper in check in front of the guru. Sensing the tension, the guru remained calm. "There's no point in anger now," he said. "There are more pressing concerns. I thought this was just a case of negative energy. A problem with the house is Vastu, but this is far more serious. The darkness clings to everything, and it follows you. It even attached itself to your brother when I saw him at the gate." My mother returned with drinks, but her face fell as my father recounted the guru's words. The guru's diagnosis left us all on edge. "What does this negative energy mean?" my mother asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "It could be black magic," the guru replied solemnly. "But I can't be certain until I perform a ritual. It's the only way to know for sure." My mind raced. This wasn't how I had imagined the day unfolding. I had expected the guru to arrive, perform a ritual, and rid us of whatever haunted the house. But now it seemed as though we were facing something far darker, far more dangerous than I'd imagined. I could feel the weight of it pressing down on me. Sensing my fear, the guru interjected. "We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. If your parents agree, I'll perform the ritual this evening, but there's one condition. It must be done inside the house, and it's best if your uncle doesn't know." My mother's eyes narrowed. "Do you think he has something to do with this?" The guru hesitated, his gaze steady. "I've seen families tear themselves apart over property or wealth. I'm not accusing anyone, but it's best to be cautious." My father laughed, shaking his head. "It can't be him. But my mother wasn't so sure. After a quiet, whispered conversation, they agreed to the ritual. My mother asked if we needed to prepare anything, but the guru assured us he would bring what was required. Before leaving, he turned to me, his voice low and reassuring. Don't be afraid. Remember, fear is the true enemy here. I nodded, but I couldn't shake the unease that gnawed at me. The weight of the unknown was crushing. When the evening finally arrived, the atmosphere was suffocating. We were all on edge. The guru appeared at the gate again, and this time he didn't touch it. He stood patiently, waiting for me to open it. As I led him toward the house, I saw my uncle and aunt standing in the orchard, speaking in low tones. I didn't like it. They were watching us too closely, and I couldn't help but feel their involvement. The guru entered our home, carrying a small bag. From it, he removed a collection of what looked like shells, beach-worn things that seemed out of place. He began chanting, moving the shells in his hands, tossing them gently to the floor. The low murmur of his voice filled the room, but none of us could make out the words. My father sat across from him, his face a mask of confusion. After several minutes, the guru paused, turning his attention to my father. How well do you sleep? He asked, his tone measured. My father admitted that he had trouble sleeping, and my mother added that he had begun talking in his sleep, a behavior she had never witnessed before. The guru nodded thoughtfully, asking more questions. He grew more somber with each answer. Finally, he placed the shells down and looked directly at my father. There is no doubt someone has done black magic on you, he said quietly. It's powerful, far more powerful than anything I've ever seen before. And it's someone close, someone in your family. The words hung in the air like a curse. My mother's face went pale. Without hesitation, she accused my uncle. It's him. I know it's him. The guru didn't confirm or deny, but his eyes darkened. Whoever it is, they've placed your life in danger. This magic, it's beyond anything I've dealt with before. I don't know if I can stop it. My world shattered. The guru, the only one who could help us, wasn't sure if he could save my father. Fear gripped me, twisting my hope into dread.